Hey, how you doing, everybody? This is Sleep, member of Memes and Dreams and Quantum of Phantasy Star Online Blueburst, coming to you with another PSO2 video. Today we're going to be going over something that's a little more advanced, but still pretty basic. I'm talking about affixing. So affixing is basically the end game thing that you do. It is where you take your gear, so your armor and your weapons, and you smack a bunch of abilities on them to give you better stats. So we're going to go over how it happens, how to do it effectively, and how to make sure you don't throw away a ton of money, because affixing is very expensive. So you can see I'm up here at the exchange shop. The X-Cube shop actually has two items that are very, very useful for this. They have the Augmentation Aid plus 30% and plus 40%. So what the Augmentation Aid does is, you can read the description right there. Whenever you're affixing or adding augments to gear, this increases the success rate of all of them by this specific ability, or this specific percentage. So the 30% adds 30%, the 40% adds 40%. Now in JP, I don't know if this is going to come to NA, there is an event once a year called Affix Week, where there is a passive plus either 15 or 20% success rate given to all affixes, adding all abilities. And that combines with these, so you can get some really high percentage affixes done, and that's typically when most people will min-max their gear for the year. So, how does affixing work, and why do I want to do it? And why is my mag tired? Oh my lord. Sato, you're ruining this. Okay, so you want to come down here to the item lab. Now, John, Gene, whatever you want to call him, has a client order that basically walks you through this. But I know a lot of people don't pay attention to that, so I'm going to explain it here. You would come here to affix augment, and you go to the piece of gear you want to affix. So let's say I want to affix my Nox Cheerio, which I recently got to plus 35. So if I do this, you'll see a couple of weapons pop up. Now, my Nox Cheerio has 3 abilities. In order to add abilities to it, I can only put in weapons that have 3 or more abilities. So you'll notice as I scroll down the list here, every single weapon that's popping up with the abilities on the right side of the screen has 3 or more. And you'll also notice that there's this weird blue light by Precision 4. So each weapon, I believe above 10-star rarity, will have a special ability affix that'll come with it when you get to plus 35. And for Nox, it just so happens for the Nox Cheerio, that happens to be Precision 4. Precision 4 is a really good ability. It's plus 35 range attack. So obviously I took that with me. Now there are a couple of other abilities that you can only get by throwing items at stuff, and we're going to go over those in a second. But what I want to point out is, as I add abilities and items here, the more of a specific ability that is on the items I'm sacrificing, by the way, you can see the price tag go up as I click more and more, the more likely that success rate's going to happen. So if I look over here at Might 2, because we have a bunch of Might weapons there, Might 2's got 80% success rate. Now that Precision has 100% success rate by default. And so if I put, you cannot, by the way, mix and match tiers of things, so I can't put Precision 4 and then Precision 2. That's not how that works. But if I come over here and I'm like, you know what, I really want Poison 1. Now you can see I have this slot here called extra slots. And this will expand the number of abilities I can have on there, but it drops the success rate of the affix by a lot. So if I put that there, boom, everything goes down. So that's 60% goes to 42, 100% goes to 70, 50% or 80% goes to 56%. So what the normal strategy is, if you're trying to get a really high number of affixes, is to throw a bunch of garbage affixes at it that are really cheap on the player market, get it up to the number of slots you want, and then come in with your actual real affixes so you don't have to worry about this. So if I wanted to go through with this, I would go start affix augment, and I would pick my augmentation aid, and I could pick an item preserver. Now the same process applies for units. You would have to have the same number of ability slots on the units you're trying to sacrifice to it, or more, which I don't think I actually do, so I can't sacrifice anything here. Yeah, you can see right there it tells you if you don't have anything that qualifies. Some things to note. I told you that the number of units that share the same ability will increase the success rate. You also have to sacrifice 2 or more with the soul that you want. So you can see right here, I put Fang Soul on everything. That's just because I like HP, PP, and R attack. There are better min-max souls than Fang. I just always used Fang because I'm a stickler. But you'll need at least 2 for the soul. I recommend 3. 3 will give you a 75% rate out of the box. And that's fantastic in my opinion. So you can see I did the same exact affixes on my weapons or on my weapon and my units. I put Noble Precision, Fang Soul, and Precision 3. This gives me 90 R attack per unit, which gives me 270 straight up there. It gives me 30 HP and 15 PP. Very decent. And if I come over here and I look at my Nox Cheerio, you can see that since it has Precision 4 instead of Precision 3, it gets 95%. And it also has this weird yellow name ability. So weapons above, I believe it actually is just 7-star and up, have what are called potential abilities. Some of them have multiple and you get to pick. Nox does not. Nox Cheerio's specific potential is called True Reversal, which boosts the power of True Equilibrium. At level 3, that's a 20% power buff. So if you spam True Equilibrium a lot, it's great. I don't normally, because I've just been spamming Satellite Aim for the better part of, a week. But True Equilibrium is a really good PA. It's a 20% power buff. This will hold you over until you get your way up to those Nox and Slave weapons, or not Nox, those Nemesis and Slave weapons. That's where the real power lies. Those have 17% raw power buffs. So again, you can see there's a thing called down here called switch potentials. So if you accidentally picked the wrong potential on a weapon, or like the Genesis weapons from JP, your weapon has a potential that's really good for one specific thing, and then you want to move it over, you can do that. Now, why would I say that? Well, the Genesis weapon, or the Genesis weapons, had an actual ability that would make affixing to it, make adding augmented abilities to it easier. And then it had 2 other potentials. One was a flat percentage power buff, I believe it was 17 or 18%. And the other one doubled the power of all the augments you put on it. So sometimes stuff works out like that. Other times it doesn't. Now, if you're looking for very specific augments, whoop, little hitch there. PSO2 NA is still very laggy. You can always come over here and there is an augment search section. So if I'm looking for a Fang Soul, I just type in Fang Soul, I click it. I'm going to come down here, I'm going to go to units. All my units have at least 3 abilities. So I'm going to go to number of augments and bring it to 3. And I'm going to search by price. Now this is only going to show units with 3 spaces. It will not show those with more, which I wish it would let you do. Enhancement level doesn't matter, element level does not matter. But I wish you could say 3 or more. Instead it's only 3, which is just kind of sad. But yeah. That's how you would shop for your affixes. There are some things, like that Noble Precision, that you cannot get this normal way. Sorry if you keep hearing me pick up and put down my controller, because I have to keep reaching over to my keyboard. So, if we type in just augment, you can see we have affix augments that come up here. Now, there is a HP PP, don't worry about that. I recommend usually getting your attacking stat and your PP stat. Now, obviously, whoops, sorry about that. Obviously, there are ways to do this that are cheaper. So if I look at just the affixed augment ranged. Oh, look, I still have units selected. That's my fault. If I look at affixed units ranged, you can see there's only about 150k on ship 3. And that gives a 30 stat boost. But if I type in augment and I want to go get my ranged and PP, you can see it jumps up to about 740k. I put all these on there. This is for that Noble Precision. You do not have to do that. You can put just the normal precision on there from that augment or whatever your attacking stat is and be fine. I would recommend you get more PP because it's never a bad thing, but it's not required. And the way that would work is that's obviously a device. So you would come over whenever you're affixing and you would select it. You'd go through this whole shebang where you pick like items and you'd go to confirm. And there would be a window that pops up before you get in here that would ask you if you want to use the affixing item. It'd have like a little drop down menu. You would click on that and click on the ability you want to infuse. So for me, that'd be Noble Precision. Now that does not guarantee it. It basically does. It'll come up here and it'll be like Precision 4 with 100%. It'll just kind of be there, but you still have to slap it onto the actual weapon. Or, yeah, onto the weapon or the unit. So, it's not foolproof. In fact, I was actually very nervous whenever I was doing this last night, because the highest I got these success rates up to was 98%, which meant that there was a 2% chance I could have been out over a mil. Luckily, I was not, and everything worked out. But that is about all I've got for you in regards to going over affixes. I'm going to have a great website linked down below called Arx Visiphone NA. That will have a bunch of information on everything you want to go over. It'll have all the affixes, what they do, where to find them, that kind of stuff. But one thing I noticed people doing is they're flipping out over set bonuses. Set bonuses in game are false. I'm just gonna let you all know that, except for ones that I only have 2 pieces. These are 100% confirmed. A lot of them that have 3 are showing double their set bonus because there's usually a weapon associated with that set. So if you're using that weapon, it'll get the full stat. If you're not, you won't. The best example I can give of this is the Agrain set, or the Arachne set I was using before. That was a 10-star unit set that whenever you went into this confirmed set effect, said that you were going to get 120 stats in everything. Or in all the attacking stats. So it'd be 120 here, 120 here, 120 here. That's not true. That's not true at all. It's just false. It lied to you. But with the 2 units that I'm using here, there's no weapon associated with this. This is obviously, I got this from playing Ultimate Quest. These drop from Lilipa. This is just plus 70 in melee and ranged. That works for me. But that's where you would see your unit set. Don't fret over unit set bonuses too much. Just don't worry about it. Min-maxing is not super important, but I can tell you, if you watched my previous video, where I went through a UQ as my Gunner Hunter here. My satellite aims were critting for about, 24k? Maybe 25 if I got, really high roll on the crit, which makes no sense, but yeah. With this, because you see I have now about 2600 range attack. Before I had about 1900 base. I have 2600 now. I'm critting consistently for about 44,000 damage, which is very decent. It's only going to get higher as I get a better weapon. I'm potentially going to hit, if I get a Slave or a Nemesis up here, 3,000 range attack or range power in this stat, which will let me crit, I believe, upwards of 70k. So that's going to be really fun. That's before the potential comes in. But yeah, that's all I've got for you. That's a not so quick but nice rundown of affixing, what's important to it, how to succeed at it, and all that. So if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. I'll be sure to get back to you. But until next time, I've been asleep. Take care.